don't even know how I got mixed up in this. All I know is I got called down to the office, no clue why I'm getting called down. But I get down to the office and the principal is essentially telling me that this girl's family can press charges on me. So when I was a kid, I used to get in trouble in school quite often, right? Usually it wasn't anything too crazy. I get in trouble for fighting here and there, or just talking in class too much. You know, some pretty basic stuff. But there were a couple times that I got myself into some pretty deep shit pretty fast. Now there's two instances that really stand out in my mind. And in one of the instances, I didn't even really end up getting in trouble. But I mean, I got lied about though, you know what I mean? It was some bullshit. I don't even remember all the details exactly. But all that really matters is that this involves one of the most popular, prissy bitches you could ever imagine. So I was in 8th grade, and this was actually before I started skipping school on a regular basis. Or I guess technically after, because I did have a pretty long run of skipping school a few years before this. Nothing compared to high school though, bro. Once I had to do actual work, I was not showing up every day. Are you fucking kidding me? Stay in school, kids. But anyway, one of the key details is something that I could never forget, right? This whole thing started because a rumor was going around the school that this girl was pregnant. And mind you, this was 8th grade, so of course we thought this was fucking crazy. What, you think I'm just not gonna say something about that? Well, to tell you the truth, I really didn't. I don't even know how I got mixed up in this. All I know is I got called down to the office, no clue why I'm getting called down. But I get down to the office and the principal is essentially telling me that this girl's family can press charges on me. You know, for harassment or whatever. Why am I lagging? What is happening? Look guys, I know you were all 13 at some point. I'm sure you can imagine the chills that ran down my spine when this guy told me I could get charged. Looking back, I don't know how true that actually is. I don't know what the courts would have done about that. I mean, at the end of the day, even if I did say anything, I don't remember if I did. I don't think I did. But even if I did say anything, this was just basic school banter, bro. What, you're gonna arrest an 8th grader for, like, reciprocating something he heard from somebody else? Really though, looking back, the way the schools would handle stuff was so dumb. For example, if someone beat the ever-living shit out of me and I decided to fight back and try to defend myself, we are both getting suspended for 5 days. That's bullshit, bro. What's next? Is someone gonna walk up and stab me and I'm supposed to just, like, be okay with that? I will never forget, when I was in 6th grade, some kid started fighting me on the school bus. And then the next day at the bus stop, he keeps calling me a pussy, telling me I'm not gonna do anything. So I shoved him in the puddle, you know? I just kind of shoved him a little bit. He shoved me first. I feel like that's an important detail. He did shove me first. But I threw him down in the puddle. His pants got soaked. He started crying, running for his house. And then apparently his dad showed up at my house, expecting to be able to talk to me or something like that. I don't know who the fuck that guy thought he was. I mean, he raised one bitch of a son. I mean, really, it's just embarrassing, you know? Like, honestly, if I were that kid's dad, I would be so embarrassed. I remember when I got called down to the office for that pregnancy shit. I ended up skipping school for 2 days after that, and my friends called me out. They knew exactly what I was doing. I tried to play it up and say I was sick or whatever. I was eating ramen noodles. I remember posting a picture of the noodles on my Instagram. I don't know why I was so concerned with making sure these guys didn't know I was scared, because, I mean, like, come on, yes, I was scared. This was the first time in my entire life that anyone had ever mentioned the police to me. Which is kind of funny, because a year later, the police ended up showing up at my house for some bullshit I got into with one of my friends. And it was like 5 in the morning, too. My mom was pissed. But believe it or not, that is not the craziest thing I got myself into at school, okay? When I was in my sophomore year of high school, I got in trouble for some of the most bullshit nonsense on the entire planet. I will admit, to some extent, I was guilty of what they put on my record, but not to the full extent, you know? This was early on in sophomore year, too. It was September. I'm honestly pretty sure it was my 2nd week of school. So I'm sitting at the lunch table. Bro, now I'm lagging. Why am I lagging? But it was September of my sophomore year, and I was in lunch, probably eating a chicken patty or some popcorn chicken. Probably had my chalky milk. And I'm sitting at a table full of my stupid stoner friends, right? All these guys were potheads, and at the time, I had not started smoking weed yet. I was a little goody two-shoes. I wasn't really about that devil's lettuce yet, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't much better at school or anything like that, but I definitely wasn't smoking weed. I was vaping, but no weed. But nonetheless, that's really irrelevant to the story here. Aside from the fact that these guys were a bunch of airheads. I don't remember exactly how this started. Bro, this guy is fucking sitting in the back of the map, bro. It's 2026! Bro, your fucking stupid helicopter, bro. Like, dude, like, you're ruining my fucking night, dude. Okay, the fact that I just shot it like 10 times and it's still in the air is so fucking stupid. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Oh my gosh, bro. I see this guy on here all the time, and he always pisses me off. Like I was saying, I don't remember how it started, but we started throwing stuff around the lunchroom, like food and snacks and shit like that. Oh my gosh. This time it was a bot. It was a bot. It was a bot. I remember throwing grapes at one of the popular girls. I thought she was kind of hot. I had known her for a while, so I thought it'd be funny. I was just hitting her in the back of the head with some grapes. But then the one kid at my table started throwing stuff at the one homosexual I went to school with. His table was just across from our table, so it was an easy, clean shot for this guy, right? Started off with him throwing a closed Capri Sun. Maybe he threw some of my grapes, I don't know. All I know is it ended with this guy opening up a Gatorade and throwing it at this fucking homosexual. I had nothing to do with that part, okay? I tried to make that clear when I was in the office. Oh, and the worst part is, the only reason I even had to go to the office is because the girl that I was throwing the grapes at made me snitch on everybody. I didn't think she was gonna snitch on me, but she did. Because once again, I was sitting in the office, this time in high school. I wasn't in middle school this time. But I was sitting in the office, getting scolded, and once again, I was told that this could be charged as a crime. I don't know how true that is, because I know for a fact they did lie on the report. Because like I said, I threw grapes at that girl, but I did not throw grapes at this gay kid. However, that did not dude, this fucking dude! Alright, I'm done. I don't fucking care.